Hi everybody, Sanbanani. Welcome to Reality Buzz TV. Good morning. I hope you're having a good morning, and I hope that it is still in the morning when you get this video, because sometimes I'll be editing and then by the time I post, it's no longer the morning and I'm still saying good morning, good morning, good morning. Anyway, you guys, this is a channel where we talk about all things reality TV shows and all things reality TV show stars, you guys. And today I want to talk about the show that I haven't really reviewed before, that is Themba, My Ink World. Okay. Last season I did talk about certain things that happened on the show, but I wasn't really doing it episode by episode, and I think this season I'm interested in it enough to want to do it episode by episode. We'll see how that goes, you guys. So Themba is back. His show, it's season 2 now. Themba was on Big Brother. I don't really watch Big Brother because I just don't have the patience. I just don't have the patience to just be watching people making breakfast, walking slowly to the bathroom, taking showers, sleep. I just don't have the patience, you guys. So Themba was on Big Brother with Mpho, and then they ended up dating. Apparently people felt like Mpho didn't really, Themba didn't really love Mpho. He was only interested because she ended up being the one that won the show. They go outside of the show. He gets a TV show for some reason. She wins, but he gets a TV show. That is interesting, actually. So she wins and he gets a TV show. They try to date outside of the show. Disastrous. Okay, because of course you can't date somebody after meeting them in just one house with strangers. You've just spent, a period of time with strangers in a house that is not yours. It's not his, it's not yours. So both of you are not in your space, and there's no way that you are totally yourself. Okay, so they came out and it was a disaster, you guys. I remember thinking, I think I'm getting flu, guys. I remember thinking, Themba is like the worst boyfriend that anybody can ever have, you guys. He wasn't communicating. Even when he was communicating, he wasn't being very nice and kind. He didn't seem like he was loving. I don't actually remember seeing one moment on the show, the episodes that I saw, where Themba was loving to Mpho. It was all fights, okay? And it kept getting worse and worse and worse. I remember they were supposed to go for a shoot when Mpho was going to reveal the pregnancy in Cape Town. They were supposed to go for a shoot, a paid gig for both of them, but he ended up not showing up. He just didn't take the plane. He didn't board the plane, So that's how bad the relationship was like. So by the time Mpho was giving birth, they had already broken up. Another thing when it comes to Themba was that apparently before he went to the house, he had been in a relationship with the mother of his kids for a very long time. They have 2 kids together. So, I guess they tell 2 different stories, because I think the mother of his kids would say that they were still in a relationship when he went to the house, but he says that they were not in a relationship. So basically he went to the house in a relationship with someone else and came out with another girlfriend, okay? Now, you guys, on the show, both the baby mama and Mpho were on the show, not together but separately, because Mpho was in a relationship with Themba. In that show, Themba is the main character on the show. So there was Mpho and then there was the baby mama, okay? And it was crazy. Then in addition to that, you guys, Themba is a breadwinner in his family, and he has a very toxic family, I would say it, you guys. His mom and his mom and aunt or whoever that is, they're very toxic. It's one of those families that if breadwinner was not treated kindly. When you buy people bread, but they would be upset that you didn't buy bread today. They don't care. They're not concerned with how today she must be struggling, no, or he must be struggling, no. Like they would be upset with you, the breadwinner, that you didn't buy bread today. That kind of a situation. It's just an example, you guys. So now Mpho has given birth to their baby, and already when she gave birth, they were no longer together. They hadn't seen each other in a long time. And there is a situation where they said that they did go to pay in Tlawulo. But then even Themba's family is very sneaky about this situation, the way they explain it. Because when they're talking about it, they say they did pay the damages. But then in this episode, when his mother and, there's an Auntie Georgina, I was like, ooh, no, Auntie's doing too much. When they were talking, she said that she had gone to pay, when the mother is talking to Themba, she says that when they got to Mpho's family, they paid a price, which is supposed to be a thank you price. I did not even know that, okay? And I was like, that is the price actually that should be paid. When I have a child, you must pay something to say thank you, because that is a lot for me to go through. And they paid a thank you price, and then there was a little bit of intlawulo that they paid. They were supposed to come back, and they haven't gone back, okay? But then Themba's mother is messy, because when she is speaking to Aunt Georgina, is it Georgina? I know she has a name like that. I think it's Georgina. Georgina, I wrote it down. When she's speaking to Auntie Georgina, she said, yes, I'm like, Mama, you're being messy. You just told your son there that you paid a little bit in Tlawulo. So they have that type of a family. So now, I'm not sure if really, honestly, Mpho, this time she really is like a cast, because last time it felt like the show, it was Mpho's show, because she was shooting more. Because Themba sometimes she was just disappearing, she was shooting more on the show. So I don't know if this time she is part of the show, or we're just going to get certain scenes, with her in it. Now, here's the thing. Because this is Themba's show, I really desperately want to be on Themba's side, but it's very difficult to be on Themba's side, because let me just tell you how this whole thing is. Okay, there's an issue of Themba not being able to see his child. Okay, Mpho had a baby, never allowed him to see the baby. Now remember, last season Mpho was pregnant, and he never went to a single appointment, I think. And his excuse was that every time there is a doctor's appointment, he has something to do. And I'm like, that's how adulthood works. Every time you're supposed to go to the doctor, you're usually supposed to be at work. But you know what you do? You take time off to be at the doctor. You don't make a doctor's appointment on a free day when you're an adult, because there's not a free day when you're an adult. You're supposed to be working. So he would say, but every time you have a doctor's appointment, I have things to do. And I'm like, yes, I have things to do, but here is the pregnancy now. What if I just say, listen, this pregnancy right here came at the wrong time, I have things to do. That's the excuse he was giving. So by the time Mpho was giving birth, she's probably thinking, I'm not even sure if you should even be seeing your child. I'm of the view, you guys, that everybody deserves to see, no, let me not put it like that, because some men don't deserve to see their children, okay? But I believe that every child deserves a chance to get to know their parent, to see their parent, however horrible sometimes, because sometimes a person can be a horrible partner to you, but they can be a good father. I've seen it, okay? It doesn't happen a lot, but sometimes it happens. So I always feel like, give a child a chance to get to know their parent. But when it gets to a situation where you feel like the child is not safe with that person, then you can make a decision to say, absolutely not. I'm just not going to allow this to happen because the child is not safe. So I feel like in most cases, I want fathers to be able to see their kids, because that is good for the kids. But sometimes, you guys, it's very difficult, because it's like, now the child is here. He hasn't seen a child, Mpho. Okay, so he is saying Mpho is not allowing him access to the child. Mpho said the same thing when she was on Mark G podcast and chill. She said, no, even if he drove to her house to try and see the child, he's not going to see the child. Now, you guys, I still have to understand Mpho's side of the story, but I know that during the pregnancy, he was not there. Okay, so maybe she must have good reasons for that. Okay, now, I wanted to feel sorry for Themba, because Themba is saying that he really, really wants to see this child. He feels like it took him 19 years before he saw his father for the first time. He doesn't feel like his child deserves it. Verbally, he's making sense. But the children that he has with his baby mama, what is his baby mama's name? Let me see, did I write it down? His baby mom, Ngobile. Yeah, he has 2 kids with Ngobile. The kids that he has with Ngobile, listen to this one. Number one, he doesn't see them a lot because Ngobile looks like she is struggling by herself to raise these 2 kids. They don't live with him, obviously, because they're not in a relationship. But here's the thing. Ngobile revealed in this episode that he went overseas with Themba without telling her. Meaning that if he didn't tell her that he was going overseas because he went to England, that means that if he didn't tell her that he was going overseas, obviously the kids didn't know that he was going overseas. He didn't communicate to say, I'm not going to be in the country for a while. Now he's just calling to say, I'm back in the country. She found out on social media that he had gone to England. Okay? Now that is with the children that you have access to. Do you understand what I'm saying when I say I want to be on the side Themba, but it's very hard because I'm like, but the children that you have access to, you're not really accessing them a lot, okay? Now he's back. I'm like, okay, you made a mistake. You didn't let the baby mama know you were leaving. So obviously your kids didn't know that you were out of the country. Now he comes back, you guys. I think that if you are a father and you come back to the country and you haven't seen your kids in a long time, I think drive by your kids before you even go and talk to your mother. He doesn't do that. He goes to his mother's house. Okay? And so the kids, he calls them to say, hey, yeah, bantwana ngibuyile. You know, instead of going and seeing the kids. That's what I'm saying, that it's hard to be on Themba's side because that you have access to those kids. Go see them. Ngobila doesn't have an issue with you seeing the kids. Go see the kids. He doesn't see the kids. He calls them. And even when he's calling, he's not calling to say, listen, I'm back, I'm coming to see you. No, he's just saying, listen, I'm back, what's happening? He's getting an update over the phone after he was not in the country for a while. I'm like, go see your kids. So I'm like, okay, do you really need access to the other kids? Because even the ones that you have access to, you're not really seeing them much. So that's the reason I say that I don't believe that he wants to be able to claim that Ulona doesn't allow him to see his kids, but would he be seeing his kid if he was allowed, or would he be one of those fathers that come once a year? Okay, so that's what I'm still trying to figure out with him. So he comes back to the country, he goes to his mother's house to have a conversation about a child that he does not have access to, which is Mpho's child. He's complaining, he wants to see the child, he wants to see, this is horrible, those people are horrible, why would they stop me? Apparently Mpho doesn't want to see him, and Mpho, when he deposits the money, Mpho brings back the money, all of that, you guys, okay? It's not making sense for me, because I want to see you do the best that you can with the kids that you have access to. For me to even feel like maybe Mpho is being unfair for not allowing you to see your child. You know, see the kids that you are allowed to see. So Themba is frustrating me at this point, you guys. But when the episode begins, he does talk about how last year he had friends, you guys. I guess he's decided to keep friends. You know those friends that when you see somebody with their friends and you're like, these are just not good friends. Like you don't know them, but you just can see that these are just not good friends. Like if you want your life to progress a little bit and you want friends that are going to help you to do that, these are not the friends. It feels like that when you watch Themba with those friends. And I'm like, it looks like it's the same friends from last season. It always felt like those friends are just there for themselves in the friendship with Themba. So it says the end of last season, things didn't go well with everything that was publicized with their breakup and all of that, and people didn't like him. I think people liked Themba on Big Brother. Like I say, on Big Brother, you're not really living your real life. So you're not even yourself. So when you say you love somebody on Big Brother, you're not really loving them. You're loving whatever character they were playing there on Big Brother. When they come out, they really become themselves. So when people were seeing Themba's real life, how he is like in real life, people didn't like it. And people really loved their relationship with Mpho. So when then he was ill-treating Mpho, and also people didn't hate Ngobile. So he wasn't only mistreating Ngobile, he was mistreating Mpho. People didn't like that. They ended up not liking her. Sponsors dropped him and all of that. And I remember last season him saying that no matter what happens, he's not going back to election to leave election. That is not something that he's willing to do no matter what happens. And I feel like you guys in life, you put yourself under pressure when you do that. Yes, it's a good thing for us to dream, to be like, no, I never want to go back to my parents' house. But I love the fact that there is home for me. I love the fact that there's home. I think everybody, if you can have that in your life where you're like, you know what, when life is hard, I can just go, back home and Yolanda is strength, and then I go, So everybody deserves a place where they can go back to. So I don't feel like it's productive to put yourself under pressure where you are like, I'm never ever going home, because what if your finances are not going well, and the place that you can go to is home. So apparently he was struggling, was living in his car for a while and all of that, but I guess things are working out now, because he's even coming he was in England not so long ago, guys. Now we do see Nobile with the kids, and her getting a call from Themba saying that he's back, and Nobile is asking for money. Listen, can I get some money? I want to take the kids out. I don't know if he says not today or something, guys. Hi, Themba bafethu. So they did ask how co-parenting is going. It's like Ngobile was like, you know what, the only way you can co-parent with Themba is if you don't talk about anything important. Don't talk about things that are important, that matter. Don't have any serious conversations. Just live. Then you will be able to co-parent with Themba. But if you have like conversations serious conversations that parents have when they're parenting kids together, then it's all going to go left. So just, when he shows up, he shows up. When he doesn't, he doesn't. When he gives money, he does. When he doesn't, he doesn't. Who wants to live like that, guys? Who wants to live like that? Okay. So now, we just still Themba with his friends, guys. I don't know. His friends are just giving me that thing. I would say, if I was Themba's mom, I'd be one of these moms that are like, hey, can't you get new friends? Because they just give you that because they're here for something. Also, Themba does mention that when he was going through a hard time, he lost a lot. And some of the things he had lost his woman, Mpho. And then, of course, even Ngobile. And then he had also lost his friends when he was going through a hard time. So they only made up recently, said they've worked things out. And I think that they worked things out, so you know what? Because now the show was coming back. So those friends look like they're in Themba's life for something. I don't feel like they're real friends. Then we meet to Georgina. Georgina, I'm glad we don't have a Georgina in her. So Mpho, because after the conversation, not Mpho, Themba, after a conversation with Themba, they decided that they're just gonna go to Mpho's house and just demand to see the baby. Okay. Now here's the question: why did you wait until the cameras came around to do that, mommy? Because if you want to see your grandchild, you could have just gone alone, and not even go and see Mpho. Go see Mpho's mom and just say, Ma, can we have a conversation? I know our kids are not getting along, but this is my grandson or I don't know if it's a girl or boy. I need to see, and don't post it or anything, That's why I'm saying Mpho's family is just as toxic. So then you guys, Mama, they decided they're going to go Mpho. So she's got this Aunt Georgina that she decided to take with her. Listen, you guys, I feel like as a mom, this mother is very toxic. Because guys, listen, I have many cousins, I have aunts. And I know the cousin that I will take with me if I want to go somewhere and make peace with people. Okay? And I know the cousin that I will take with me if we are going to fight. And for this situation right here, I don't think that Themba's mom should be taking the cousin that is ready to get to the ring to go and see if they can allow her to get that, because they're not going to allow you to see that child. If you take Georgina to Mpho's family, you're not going to ever see that child. So I feel like as a mom, how do you make such a decision? uphuma silwe we-family to say ukuze ngiphelezele because we are going to that family to ask them to allow us to see the child. You're never going to see the child. I think tata ngisho umama umfundisi esontweni, tata umkhokheli, tata umfundisi, tata ugogo thile we-family, somebody that you know for sure, so they will do everything they can to negotiate with family. They're going to be humble because the goal here is for you to see your grandchild, and the goal here is for Themba to be allowed to see his child. And when you get there, admit to all of your son's sins. Listen, I know my son is not a good father. He hasn't done the right thing in this situation. He should have been there for Mpho. I'm disappointed. I was hoping for them to get married and it didn't, so my heart breaks because they were not able to do that. But besides that, this is still my grandson. Can I see him? Grandson, can I see him? Or granddaughter, can I see him? Then maybe. So Georgina was like, Mpho was trying to trap Themba. I'm like, guys, like sometimes family members can be delusional about who we are as people. Like they think that Mpho was trying to trap Themba. Themba is not a boyfriend to trap, okay? Themba is a boyfriend you do something to chase away from your life. You know, he's just not a trap, like trapping. That is not a trapping situation. You don't want to be trapped with, you don't want to be in life with Themba, locked into a situation with Themba. I'm glad Mpho didn't get married to Themba. That would be like a trap for her. But Themba's family is saying that Mpho had a baby to trap Themba. I'm like, even you love your son, yes, but think about it. Is he a trapping situation? Is he a trapping type? No, nobody wants to trap Themba. Nobody would want to trap Themba. Look at Ngobile raising kids alone when Themba is alive and well, hanging out with his friends. They're waking up in the morning, sitting there by the kitchen. He could be going and seeing his kids, but he's sitting there. Hey guys, what are we going to do? What plan do we have? Themba. Instead of going and seeing his kids, you know. So yes, you guys. So I guess next week we're going to be seeing the meeting between Mpho's family and Themba's family, and it's not going to go well. You know why? Because they are taking Georgina with them. Georgina is the person to live back at home. She's just not a person to bring around. Okay. Anyway, you guys, that was the episode 1 of Themba, My Inked World. I was hoping that, honestly, you guys, Themba has changed. I was hoping that he has matured, and maybe he has, but not on the parenting side. I don't see it. We should have seen him with his kids already, but we saw him with his friends. If he says that he's just arrived from England, he doesn't have time, but you have time to go see your friends. So how come you don't have time to go see your kids? So anyway, tell me what you think about this in the comment section. Like the video before not share it with your friends, with your family, and even with strangers.